Maddie Lee here, coming to you from Toyota Center, where the Thunder have just had their biggest comeback in Thunder history to come back from a 26-point deficit and beat the Houston Rockets 117 to 112. It was a wild game. The Thunder were down by 22 points by halftime because, frankly, defense on the perimeter wasn't great, and even when it was good and they were contesting shots, the Rockets were just hitting their threes. Rockets shoot over 44% in that first half, take a giant lead. Thunder just looks a little lost on both ends, and then the third quarter, they come back, buckle down on defense. You have different players going through scoring binges. So first you have Terrence Ferguson starting to hit his threes. You have Paul George explode after that, and then Dennis Schroeder comes in from third in that lineup in the third quarter and is able to spark the Thunder the rest of the way to tie the game at 90 points apiece at the end of the third quarter. A wild comeback. Fourth quarter is a little more back and forth, but the Thunder are able to pull it out in the end. Paul George takes 6 free throws in that last 1 minute, makes all of them, and the Thunder win it. Huge matchup tonight between Paul George and James Harden, 2 MVP candidates. And tonight, Paul George outscores James Harden, which hasn't been done in a long time. James Harden is on an insane tear where he's scoring 30-plus points almost every night. He had 42 tonight, and Paul George had 45. So really intense matchup. And then, of course, you have Paul George defending James Harden on the other end, along with Terrence Ferguson helps out there. They got into a bit of a disagreement. Really more, Paul George got into a disagreement with the officials after James Harden came down from a 3-point attempt and hit Paul on the back of the head. Paul George ends up getting called for the foul, and then argues that, A, he was called for the foul, B, James Harden isn't called for anything, and then he gets a technical for arguing that point. But after a little bit of frustration, he settles in, has a really solid third quarter where he scores 13 points in that quarter alone and is really a huge part of that comeback. While Russell Westbrook is distributing to everyone else. He finishes the night with his 9th consecutive triple-double, which ties Wilt Chamberlain's record. Huge. I know we talk about triple-doubles all the time with Russell Westbrook and have really become kind of, the specialness has worn off just because it seems like he's doing it every night. He certainly has done it the past 9 times the Thunder has come out here, but one more and he could take the record for himself. So next, Thunder head back home. They play Portland next, another tough Western Conference matchup. Before then, take a look at video that we have from, of course, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Billy Donovan, and Terrence Ferguson. Enjoy.